Hey, what's up you guys? It's Jungle Poppy and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a little update video on my Manjula Pothos that I actually made a video on where I put it up on a moss pole. So I'm just going to be talking about its growth and its development since then. And I'm actually going to be cutting the pole in half just because it is a little bit too tall for my liking when it is a little dry and I fail to keep the moss pole moist. It does tend to tip over, so I don't like that. It causes a lot of mess. So that's what I'm gonna be doing my video today, and hope you guys enjoy. Currently, I have the Manjula and most of my moss poles in this area, which is facing the south-facing window. Yeah, they've been loving it, but because of all of this light, especially now that it's going into the fall season, the sun is a little bit lower and more direct light is shining through for most of the day. That causes a lot of the plants to dry out faster than I can keep up with. Hence why I want to make everything easier to deal with, and if it means cutting a tall pole in half, that's what I'm going to be doing. The Manjula's back here, you can kind of see it. I'll bring it. So here is the Manjula now, and it is pretty tall. It has two plastic moss poles attached to each other, and as you notice, like a lot of the bottom leaves already start falling off, and those leaves were already in that video that I made, but that's normal. What I'm going to be doing is chopping it up to the bottom of this second pole, and I'm just going to pop that up. But here is what it looks like. The leaves have grown large and then started to get smaller. You know what? Let me change the angle. Let me show you what this plant looks like. So it is pretty tall. The leaves look very large, but you can kind of already notice that the upper leaves have already started to reduce in size. I want to fix that, make sure that it has more space to climb without it being too tall for me to handle. So I totally forgot I was running the dishwasher, so if you hear any noise, that's what that is. But let me just move this over here. So when it comes to the care of this, it's pretty typical of like any other plant, water when it's dry or about to be dry. The biggest struggle I had with this plant is just keeping the moss pole consistently moist. I tried to follow a schedule where I would water it every Wednesday in the shower so that it gets a nice hosing off, not only to moisten the pole, but to wash off the leaves of any dust. But it's just like too much to manage, especially with like so many other plants to care for. To help with that, I think cutting it in half will just make it easier to maneuver when it comes to watering day. But I did wait to cut it just so that it did have a chance to establish some roots into this second upper pole. And I do have my sterilized box cutter, so let's just get to it. So here's where the point is that I'm gonna cut. I don't want to cut it, but I have to. Damn, it's hard. The deed is done. And I think what I'm gonna do, instead of actually potting it up right away, is I'm just gonna let it dry up and callus so that it prevents any fungal or bacteria getting in. Just to prevent it from falling, I'm gonna be pulling it. And there we go. Yeah, it's just so weird, like the upper leaves are so small in comparison to these. I really think it was just the lack of consistent watering and lack of fertilizer. I just started to be more on top of fertilizing my plants, and hopefully that will help. But I know it's kind of like bad timing because it's already going into fall and winter, but you know, better late than never. Here is the bottom half. What I would normally do if it looked more pretty and full is post it up on Facebook Marketplace, but I think what I'm gonna end up doing is taking off the original stem and then just plopping up the moss pole on top of this and just kind of do it like that. Partly because I don't have any moss poles right now. I don't feel like buying some. I'm just gonna recycle and go from there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna moisten the moss pole, this upper one, and let this callus over. And once it does that, then I'll end up potting it. But that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to give a little update and just document what it looks like now, so that in the future, if I mess up, I can reminisce. But hopefully I don't have to deal with that. And it's bigger and better than before. But thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you next time.